Hey all, Mal here. So I'm not sure if it's just me, but I'm sure there's a lot more people that are sick to death of having, as we scroll around here at Moorabbin Airport, trees every flippin' where in the sim. 2024, Asobo and Microsoft, you must think the world has a lot more trees than they actually have. Because every time I fly out of Moorabbin, we see trees everywhere in Moorabbin that I know well are not there. Example, if I zoom in here, take a bit of a quick trip around the airport, this clump of trees is not there in reality. I know they're not there because I live next door, not too far away, and I know well they're not there. Same with...
Look at this sorry, miserable, squashed thing. Can anybody tell me what's wrong with this picture?
bunch of trees. I know they're not there in real life either. Don't ask me why Asobo has decided to put them in. They're definitely not there. As for these trees, I don't think they're there as well either. And if you don't believe me, if you take a quick look at Google Maps, those clump of trees are not there. Clump of trees down here are not there either. Basically, no airport in the world wants a clump of trees at the end of any taxiway or runway. And you can see down here, there's no trees down here either. There's a few trees here and here, but that's not on the airport side, that's more out on the public side. So basically there's no flipping trees, only pile of trees over here on the golf course the other side. What I'm going to do today, and I'm no expert at this, I'm going to use the SDK of 2024 to remove these stupid ass trees everywhere. Try and make it look a bit more real. So the first thing to do is we need to activate the dev part of the sim. To do that is simple enough. Just go out to settings, go to advanced, click on the dev tool, save and back, and the dev tool is activated. Most of you will know that's how you find the FPS counter and stuff like that. So the reason my sim as well is looking a bit greener than normal is because Alt and F3 I have the NVIDIA filters on. We'll turn those off for a second. It's gone a bit, I hope it's not gone too bright. Anyways, so what we need to do, the very first thing I would normally do is I'd create a folder somewhere on your hard drive where you want to store all your SDK projects. I've just created one on my iDrive under 2024 SDK projects. That's to keep everything together so you know where it is. Next thing you need to do is go to File, New Project. So in here, we're going to start off telling where the projects are. So as I said, I created an SDK projects folder. So next thing you need to do is name your project. So what are we doing? So I'm going to just put in the actual YBBM for Moorabbin. Can spell Moorabbin correctly. So I just named it YBBM Moorabbin Airports. Put in the creator's name, which whatever you want to do. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to click on create new project. Well, 99% of the time it is packages, 99.9%. Click on next. Now, you have an option here of either selecting an airport, because we're going to work on the airport, or selecting on custom. From what they've told me, Custom gives you a lot more options to do things. You can always convert it into an airport later on if you want. Airport seems to put more boundaries on you. You can do less editing in it. So we'll click on custom. So now we need to set up some more details in here. So we just type in, I'd like to keep it all the same. So we're going to call it Moorabbin Airport. It's the same as what we called in the beginning. YBBM Moorabbin Airport, so we know what it is. We're going to be doing scenery. Click on next. So with the custom asset group, we're going to use, I use placement from just where I learned it from a few other developers. It's just where all the things are all stored for the same project. And we're going to select BGL. Okay, create. So now we've created our first project. The next thing we need to do is we need to activate the project inspector. If it's not already shown up on the screen, which is not for me, and it seems to be the default thing, go to view project inspector. So this is the project inspector that we work on. And see over here is the project editor, and it'll have your placement. That's what we created, the assets, and the project name. Project inspector, you can move it all around the screen, put it wherever you want, or you can even put it up here and dock it beside the project editor. So now that we've done that, we need to actually get in and start editing. To do that, you would normally go wherever you want to edit your stuff. I'm at Moorabbin, so you would normally just move in the sim to whatever airport or whatever location you want to edit things. Then in here you come to click on your project editor, the name, whatever the placement is, the one that we're working on. Project inspector, load into editor. So now we're in the editor. Materials editor will pop up, normally does every time. You can either minimize it or you can X out of it. We can get back into it again, okay. So now we're in the editor part of the sim where we can get rid of these stupid bloody trees. So to move around it in the editor, you're using the developer's camera. And to move around it, you can use either the keyboard or the mouse. To use the keyboard to move around the environment, you'll use the Q, W, E, A, S, D keys. So if you press on Q, it'll bring the camera down. W will bring the camera forward. E will bring the camera up. A will bring it to the left. D button will bring it to the right. S button will bring it back. So you can move around the environment this way with those 6 buttons on the keyboard. Q, W, E, A, S, D. Another way to move around is you can use your mouse. If you want to use your mouse, you can hold down the left Alt key, and the left mouse button will allow you to rotate around like this. You can rotate all around the point, up and down, through all the axes. Press the left Alt and the middle key will allow you to move forward and back, left and right. So that's the middle mouse button. And the right mouse button will rotate around the point with the Alt key pressed. So everything uses the Alt key and the mouse. Again, left mouse button will let you rotate around like this. Middle one will let you back and forward, left and right. And the right mouse button with the Alt key. So best thing to do, and sorry, the scroll on the middle mouse will let you scroll in and out. So it's good just to get used to your way to move around in the dev camera, either the keys or the mouse, whichever one you want to use. And once you get happy enough with that, we'll continue on and remove these stupid ass trees out of the sim. So now that you're happy enough to move around with the dev camera with your mouse or your keyboard, next thing we need to use is we need to use what they call a polygon line to place around whatever objects that you want to edit in the sim. Now you may notice that there is two toolbars missing over here. If they're not on your screen, that would be the objects. If you go to view, if you go into scenery editor, view, objects and properties, it's always good to have these two toolbars over on the right. You can see in a few minutes what I'm talking about, why it's good to have them there. If they're not there, just go into scenery editor and click on view, and you can add the two of them in there. Any other toolbars you want. What we need to do now is we need to create a polyline around whatever feature we want to get rid of. So to do this, over on objects, in here you have all the different objects in the sim that you can edit, modify, add in, remove, do whatever you want with. What we're going to concentrate on today simply is polygon. I was calling it polyline, whatever. It's polygon. You select polygon, excuse me, and you click on add, which is down behind me. I should have moved my camera over the other side. I disappear my camera for a second, so you can see the add down here. Click on that add, and it will pop in the polygon over here on the left hand side that we're going to use. So don't heed the error message. I don't know, the error message always shows up. I don't know why. It just shows up, but it still works, right? So what we want to do is we want to get rid of these stupid ass trees in front of me, so we can click on the window, make sure that we can move forward. Okay, so we want to get rid of these stupid ass trees that I know they're not there in real life. So when we selected the object polygon add, you'll see the little, I think you can see the little red cross that's showing up with my mouse. So when we're selected that, we can now draw a polygon line around all this vegetation and get rid of it out of the sim. So to do that, I just position myself, Alt and just use your Alt mouse keys to position the best one for yourself. This is Alt and middle mouse button. So get it in what you want to edit in the center of your screen. Now what we're going to do is draw a polygon box around all these trees. So you start off top corner, press the left control button and left mouse button. First point of your polygon box. Then keep the left control selected. Go over to the next corner, left mouse button again. Go down to, you actually don't need to keep the control button pressed, sorry. Down to the next corner down here, left mouse button. So you need to keep it pressed to actually get the polygon line, okay? And then over here we can press, if I move over and press the double press for the last one, and that'll join all of the that'll join up our box or create our polygon box that we're going to edit. So if we move around here, you should be able to see the polygon box there, hopefully. So if you then, once you've completed that and the polygon box is completed, it should turn white up here, I think. We can click into the middle of it. When you click into the middle of it, you'll now see a little icon show up. Normally it is this little round world or football or whatever you call it. What this lets you do is, there's 4 different axes on it, or 3, is there? Actually, sorry, it's 2 axes on it, so you can click on the axis and you can move. It's not going to show you that way. And that's not going to show you that way either. There, you can see the polygon. If you click, how you can rotate your polygon box. If you left mouse button again in here, you'll turn to another menu option, and you can expand it X, Y, and Z axis to scale it up and scale it down. And finally, if you click again, it'll give you another option, so you can move the polygon box. So those are the 3 options to move the polygon box around. So it allows you, when you're editing, modifying stuff in the sim, you can scale up objects, scale them down, you can move them, you can rotate them. It gives you the option to move everything, but we're not going to do that at the minute. We're just going to remove these stupid ass trees. So now that we've surrounded the trees with that polygon box, I'm going to go over again to properties this time. So as I said, if these properties and objects aren't there, just simply go to your scenery, view, click on objects and properties, and they'll show up. Sometimes they disappear. Go to properties. What we want to do is we want to edit the vegetation. So we want to get rid of those stupid trees. So come down to vegetation. Now don't freak out and go, oh holy crap, this is like don't ask me who in Asobo or Microsoft decided this, but the minute you click on vegetation, it goes badass crazy and adds in like 110% vegetation. Don't worry about that. What we're going to concentrate on is exclude. You can edit the vegetation density if you want. You bring it right down so that you only have a few trees. Density like that, right, 100% density. So you can make a forest out of it. You can add the scale in here. You can make some crazy ass big trees, or you can make them like little bushes. So you can edit the whole. You can see inside the polygon box, and it's outside as well, some that you can edit the whole thing with the vegetation. Make it whatever way you want. For us, we want to exclude it. So if we click on exclude, gone. So that's it. So now the stupid trees that are not there in real life are not there in the sim. So you can then, what I would normally do is I would normally, for your own sanity, I'd normally rename up here in the top left, rename this to remove tree, move trees, and then if you know the location, probably, I know this is beside 35 left runway, so 35 left. So that's for your own sanity to know. As you add in more stuff, remove more stuff, you're going to have a whole load of things named here, so it's good. But if you don't, still when you click on it, it'll highlight it in the same anyways. So we remove trees, 35 left. So you can zoom out. To remove the trees, we need to move ourselves around. This is why I'm saying getting used to using your keyboard and your mouse to move around. I'm going to go over here to these crazy ass trees that don't exist either. Ooh, we're all over the place. Now, I'm going to remove these trees. Again, I'm going to use a polygon. Oop, stop moving that around. Object. So, polygon again. Click on add. Bring up the other polygon. I don't know why the show error comes up. Oh, that doesn't work. I don't know why that comes up. Anyways, so our little red cross comes up again. So get yourself situated where you can see what you want to get rid of. Best way, top down or whatever you want to see. We want to get rid of this bunch of stupid ass trees. Right. Make sure you're on the polygon that you added in. Go to the properties. Again, vegetation. Oh, this time I didn't add in 100% density. Okay. Oh, because we haven't done, stupid me. Of course, didn't add it in. So, polygon. We haven't even created the polygon yet. So, select the polygon. Click the left control. Pick the first point, next point, pick as many points as you want around it. Point. The only thing is on the last point, just double click and that'll close off the polygon, right? So now we've created that around that clump of trees. You can then go to properties. Over here on the right, vegetation, wait for it. Crazy ass vegetation, 100%. Exclude, they're gone. So those stupid trees are gone. So now we've removed 2 loads of stupid trees that aren't there in real life. Again, I would advise you to name it so you know roughly where it is. I just need to pick it out here. Actually, let me see. How can I know where the taxiway is? Okay, if we look at the taxi sign, actually, go back here and see. So we're on G, taxiway G. So let's call these. See, when you double click on it, it goes back to it anyways. So remove please taxi, if I'm gonna spell right. Actually with G, didn't I say that? Yeah. It's just to keep it simple, stupid. It's probably, it's just for your own sanity to know. But if you double click on them, you see it'll jump to where they are anyways. So it's not like you're going to lose them, but I just like to keep them. So now that we have that done, what it might be a good idea as well is to create a folder, a group, and group all the same things together that you do. Like if you're removing trees everywhere, you're doing gardening, you're doing sim gardening. So this is probably, yeah, This is like an extra thing. This is like farming sim 20, only it's create gardening sim. Oh, stupid. Anyways, it's best to create a folder and call it I don't know, remove trees, whatever you want to call it, so you know what it is. And then we can remove, then we can add in. See how the taxiway G1 is already in there? We should be able to move in the other one into it. So now we've got a folder there with remove trees. How am I spelling trees? How am I spelling trees wrong? Oh my god, 2 S's. Rename it. Oh, for the love of God, man. Spell things right. So remove trees. So we've now got a folder, and we've got our 2 tree removals in there. You can have remove buildings, add taxiways, remove whatever you want to add in the folders. Just keep them all the same. Keep them all, how would you say, together and organized for yourself. Not really important with only a few things happening, but when your project gets crazy big and you have a whole pile of stuff in here, it's good to have them organized like this. Anyway, so we've done that. So now that you've done that, what we can do is we can save our project, or save our scenery first of all. So like I've seen a few devs who I've watched them, don't save on the projects tab. If you're on there and you go project save, that'll save the project, but it won't save the scenery that you've just updated. So to save the scenery that you've just updated, make sure you're on the scenery tab, then click down the bottom here, save scenery. Very first time you do this, it will pop up with this save box, right? It's the very first time that you save scenery in a new project. What you need to do is you need to save the scenery in your projects folder. So it'll pop up, mightn't be the correct place, so for me it'll be SDK projects. We're in the YMB, YMMB Addon. So you go in there. Under that, you've got a pro packages sources. So you want to go into the packages sources. In there, you've got a scenery. In there, you've got YMB again. And now we've got the placement one. That's the one that we're working on at the moment. The one that we named at the beginning. Click on that. And then you can name it down here to whatever you feel like you want to name it. Again, for me, I think I'll keep them all the same. So as I said, I'm going to keep it all the same. Now here you need to make sure that it's all, no spaces, it has to be all together. So I normally just put in a capital if you want, instead of a space. Doesn't have to be all the same name, it can be different names, but I just keep them all the same. Again, that's in the Addon folder, packages, that's in your whatever project you call it, packages, source, scenery, then whatever you call that folder, and placements. Save it in there. Now that's saved, so to show you this, you won't have to save it again. Once you do it once, it's saved. So if we can pick out, where else is there flipping trees? There's one over there. Now, I know there's no trees over here. So we can again go and do our scenery. Make sure we're on our scenery. I'm going to go over to objects, again polygon. It'll stay up there. We're going to click and add new one. Okay. Don't forget, unlike I did the last time, the little cross will show up. Left control, pick your first point, so we'll put it down here somewhere. Keep the left control clicked. Next point, next point, next point. You see how the last one, the last one is double click. There you go. So you can resize those again, we'll show that later, but keep it simple here. We will then go to properties. Actually select the polygon, go to property. Yeah, if you don't have it selected, you see how the properties didn't show up. So if they don't show up for you, it's just you haven't got the polygon selected. Down to vegetation. And yeah, there, vegetation's gone crazy. Exclude. Yeah, that should have excluded. I'm not sure what. Let me double check. Brilliant. The guide has gone to crap already. That should have excluded those trees. Well, I'm not 100% sure why I won't get rid of those stupid ass trees down here. But this will just give me an opportunity. You can click on any of the pluses, X's on the polygon, and you can drag them wherever you want. Just drag it down here and see, can we surround this tree? I don't know why it doesn't select. Maybe these trees are special. There shouldn't be special trees. Let's have a look. That is a tree that they added in, wasn't it? Let's say click and make sure it's here. And let's click this one. And just put it around here. And properties, run the polygon. Someone that knows more than me will probably go, you stupid idiot, you're not doing it right. Vegetation, it added in vegetation. Okay, that tree won't be taken out. That's well rooted in the sim then. But the only reason I wanted to show that, okay, I'll have to work it out somehow. The reason I wanted to show you that is because then you just click on save here and the little box doesn't come up. It just saves the scenery where you saved it the first of all. But okay, so forget that for now. I don't know what's up there. What we need to do now is we need to... What do we actually need to do? Let me think. Sorry, went out of my head completely. I know because we saved it, and we say we can actually close this all down. And when you go to close it down, you'll get it grumbling going, hold on a second, you haven't compiled this to work in the sim. No, we haven't compiled it yet. You need to compile your changes or compile your project for it to work when you drop it into the community folder. So we haven't compiled it. It doesn't really matter yes or no on this. Okay, so we've closed it down. So to get back into your project and start editing again is simple enough. As long as you've saved the scenery in that, you just go into File, Open Project. So we want to go to the Moorabbin one, click on that. So we're back into the Moorabbin project. You need to load back into it. So click on your BGL file here and just go to the PC. We should have View Project Inspector and then load in editor, and it'll load you back in again. And you're back in here again. Materials editor I think shows up all the time. And just close that off. But we're back in again and we can keep on editing our project. So when you're happy enough that you've done all the editing you want, and you want to see what the editing looks like in the sim itself, see all your great work, your tree removal or whatever, you need to what they call compile it so that it's going to work in the 2024. Just to do that, all you need to do is, when you're happy enough that you've completed it all, you can go to Project tab, Build All in Projects. Click on that. It'll go through the whole build, depending on how much stuff you've done. It may take a couple of minutes. I haven't done a hell of a lot, only remove a couple of trees. But down here you'll see that it has somewhere. Okay, so it's been generated. So that means it's built it, the package has been generated. And the other important one is that there's no failed issues in the package. So to see where the package is, you just simply go back to your folder where your SDK projects are. This is why I said it's good to have an SDK project in under Moorabbin Airport. There is now a package folder in there. So you can click on that. That's where your package has been all compiled, that you can drop it into your community folder. So you can copy that and drop it into your community folder, and then load up the sim, and all the modifications you've done should show up in the sim. Okay, so now we can see that the package has been created. We can close down this builder messages. We should be able to close it down. Close it down. Okay, didn't have the right X. Now we can shut out of our project. Of course, these trees are going to be okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to load out of the sim. Those trees should have come back because we're not having loaded it. Okay, maybe go load out of the sim, load back in again, and I'm going to show you the difference when we have our package. Okay, so now I'm back in the sim, and you can see these stupid ass crazy trees right here again in the default settings. Where's the other ones we got rid of? Quickly, not slowly. Shoot up here, you can see them. I see them coming up in front of me. Whee! So here's the other ones we got rid of, and I'm not sure why we couldn't get rid of these stupid trees here. They seem to be well rooted altogether. They're not going to let us in. So that's in the default. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that package into community folder, and then we're going to load back in again, and hopefully, if we've done things right, I hope I have, we'll see, those trees should be gone. So let's get our package dropped into the community folder. So now I did say I was going to drop that package into the community folder. So again, that package has been saved to our SDK projects folder under the project name, Moorabbin Packages. This is the name of the package, and there you can see all the different parts of it. So instead of me actually copying, a lot of you I know out there would copy that and then would open your community folder and drop it into your community folder there. So you can do that. I do a better thing. It's not that I do a better thing. I find this better. It's not that I do a better thing. I use Addon linker, which is brilliant. So I'll put I'll put a link in the description below. The Addon linker, brilliant bit of software just means that I can go into my add-on linker. I have all my profiles set up here for my flight sim. I can select under scenery. Actually can't select under scenery at the moment because I haven't copied it into the scenery. So I need to do one more step. First of all, I need to copy in, instead into the community folder, I need to drop it into my scenery folder, where I'm pointing at for add-on linker, which is on the iDrive. So let me do that first of all. So the only difference I'm doing is, just to let you see, I'm copying that folder, as I said, under the SDK projects that we compiled. Instead of dropping it into the community folder for 2024, which you can do, I'm just dropping it into a folder I use on the iDrive for airports, and in there I have different airports. So we paste it in there. We paste it in there. I can go back to MS add-on linker, do a refresh, look under airports, Australia. In there we've got my Addon. Select that, just click save and update here. So now that has just, what that has done from add-on linker, just to let you know, is that has, if I do a refresh on the community folder, there you go, it's just popped in a link into the community folder. So in here you see all of my folders are linked. I don't have any folder physically in the community folder. They're all getting linked in by add-on linker. That's just a sidebar. Add-on linker, I'll put a link in the description below for it. Brilliant piece of software. So now that we've done that, our modified project folder is in, our modified airport is in, so we can start up the sim again. And I hope that those stupid trees have gone from the flipping airport. We'll see. Okay, so now I've jumped back in again after loading up our modified Addon into the sim, and hey presto, the trees have gone. It actually worked. So stupid ass trees, and we'll check up here. Oh, I've slowed myself down again. Shoot up here to the other end. So the two sets of trees, the ones here and the ones down there, have been removed. So as you can see, it's not as complicated as you might think. And don't worry, you're not going to mess up the sim. It's not, you're not editing files, DLL files or anything in the sim. You're simply compiling your own modifications and layering them over the sim. So you're removing the trees. You're not actually editing anything in the sim that'll break it. So doing the SDK files to update buildings, remove trees, add in cars, add in whatever you want into it is brilliant. The one thing that you need to remember is you need to use the assets of the sim if you want to keep it default. What I mean is you can add in more complicated things from different devs and different libraries. You can download a number of different libraries from flightsim.to, add them into the sim, and then add that into your simulator with SDK. So you can add in all sorts of things that were never done by Asobo or Microsoft, but by third parties. The only issue with that is that when you update your sim with those assets, with those libraries, you need to make sure that you include those libraries with your packaged up and your compiled, updated project. Otherwise, if you hand that off to somebody, or if you upload it, if you have some brilliant looking things in the sim and upload it to flightsim.to without those libraries, when somebody downloads your package and puts it into their community folder, they won't see the assets, because the libraries need to be with them. They're not as default. Whereas if you do everything just using the default assets from a Sobo, okay, I've seen that bus is like a brick. A Sobo or Microsoft, then nobody has to download any extra libraries. They just, when you compile your package and put it up on GuideSim for everybody, anybody can download it and put it into the default sim. So as you can see, this is just simple. This was a simple remove a couple of trees from where I know they were, where they're not. Same as these trees, will clean up around Moorabbin, so that at least when I fly into Moorabbin there's no trees, and possibly lower these trees as well, because I know these are more bushes in real life than trees. So that is, hopefully that's sparked interest in a few people and excitement that you can correct the sim in your own little local airport that you are well aware of what's what. Because you can't really expect the Sobo and Microsoft to know the whole world. They don't have everybody, they don't have people in every airport around the world saying, no, that tree's not there. They're just using the machine learning to pick up the default, pretty much default buildings and shrubbery around the world. But yeah, but if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'm no way an expert on this at all. I'm learning as I go along. I'm watching YouTube videos of other people who are actually more devs who have been at this for years and picking it up from them. I started in 2020, fell off a bit, but decided to go back in 2024 and add in a few things. Maybe help. I know there is Skycraft has done a brilliant rendition of Moorabbin, which I haven't loaded in. He's got the Moorabbin sign over here and the whole lot. He's got the airport well done. I'd love to maybe add in the fencing that you can see the shadow of it there. There is fence all the way around Moorabbin. It's not in the sim. Also would love to update the Moorabbin DFO here, which is a shopping center. There is an actual filling station over here that's not there, and the other side of the airport we've got Costco's over here. Costco is there, but Costco looks like an office building. Costco doesn't look like that in reality. It looks like the warehouses. Costco would actually be, that'd be more like Costco than that building. And Costco's got its own filling station over here as well. So maybe I might update a few other things and run them, test them myself, and if anyone's interested or if they actually work out okay, might upload them to FlightSim.to, let people download it like Skycraft has. But for now, that is how to use, and this video has ran way longer than I thought it would. That's the basics of SDK in FlightSim and how to remove, add in. I didn't add anything in, I just removed the trees, but it's a way of maybe become a tree remover for FlightSim 2024. Maybe that's a full-time job, just removing trees. Virtual, what do they call them? Arbiters, is it? Virtual tree remover in the sim. Get paid for it. Wouldn't that be great? Anyways, enough of my stupidity, actually, yeah. And there's another one here that I need. There's an actual golf ball here. You can see the shadow of it. But I don't know where I can get a golf ball put in. Okay. Anyway, enough of my going on. That is how you remove trees from FlightSim 2024. And there's a load of trees. I know there is another developer out there I've seen on YouTube or something that has actually got, he's already put out a add-on for removing trees or something around the world. But pretty much that's how anyone can go to their own local airport and remove the trees. But for now, that will do. This has ran on for the... Oh my god, we're nearly at an hour. What I might actually do is maybe... I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'll try working on Moorabbin maybe. Add in a few other things into it. I know that over here we've got... Oh, okay. Did they add in... I'm only seeing this now. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong... I'm looking, you're going the wrong way. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong side of Moorabbin. I thought, oh, they updated it. Oh, for the love of God. No, they haven't updated it. So, where all these cars are driving on the dirt... That isn't dirt anymore. That's the Moorabbin bypass. Or isn't it called the Moorabbin bypass? Comes up onto the Dingley bypass here. So it joins up onto the Dingley one. That is the top of my head. Oh man, what's the name of the bypass? Can't think. It's gone out of my head. But all of this is actually now a new freeway or a new highway. So it's not all dirt anymore, so it's a pity. Maybe I might try adding that in and see if we can add in a road. So that's all brand new highway. That's not dirt anymore. Anyways, enough for now. Get ahead of myself. And we will go off and see if I can remove a couple of more trees from Moorabbin. And hopefully that's helped a few of you out there. Not to be afraid of the SDK. It's not going to break the sim. You're not going to break the sim. And how you can update your local area. You can even put in your own house if you want. In the sim. But for now, we'll leave it at that. Nearly an hour long. I don't think anybody will ever watch this, but might have a few people out there. And we will chat to you later. Bye. Wrap it up.